Thank you, David. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you everybody on the call for your time today. It's exciting to not only be working with David and his team, but I look forward to having, as David said, an educational session, just chatting about what video can do, talking and going through that. I hope that by the end of this webinar, you'll understand whether or not video might make sense for your business, and at least have the knowledge to know to make that decision. And if it is right, and if you think that there is a possibility for it, to do something with that knowledge and to launch with a game plan. So just to confirm, David, you can hear me, correct? Take that.
I had myself muted. I can hear you just fine.
Fantastic. Okay, well then let's get started. So today, the theme is education, and the agenda is really pretty simple. It's a skydiving approach where I'm going to start up really high elevation and continue to dive into more and more detail. By the end of the presentation, you should be able to understand the following. So let's get started. Is video a fad or a trend? I'm sure many of you knew that CES, the Computer Electronics Show, happened last week down in Las Vegas. And video is very much hyped. In fact, Vice President at YouTube was so bold to say that 90% of all web traffic will be video in the very near future. As reported by our friends over at Real SEO, that's a ridiculously huge number, and it's designed to do one thing, and that is to get your attention. If it does sound ridiculous, it's supposed to be. But it does bring up an interesting point, and what YouTube is suggesting is that video is very quickly going to become to business what websites already are, and that is in many ways a requirement for some level of credibility, for some level of being considered a company that's with it today. But is this hype? Is YouTube predicting what they hope to be a self-fulfilling prophecy? Let's take a look at some actual numbers. Cisco Systems, which is basically the largest provider of what are ultimately bandwidth measuring devices in the world, said that 2 years ago, video was already 40% of internet traffic, and that they corroborate the 90% number, and they give it a date, that it's going to become 90% of internet traffic in the year 2015. So maybe this isn't just hype. But for those who notice that this says consumer internet traffic, what does this mean? What's the difference between a consumer and a business professional? The answer is actually pretty simple, and the difference is the time of the day. The people are the same. There's a good chance that, for example, everybody on this call, that you're one of the 800 million consumers that are signed up to Facebook. The point is simply that the behavior of human beings is getting used to video, the same way that it's been getting used to cell phones, smartphones, email, and the internet, all originally consumer tools which our behaviors brought to the business. So maybe this is a real trend. Maybe it's not just a fad. But even if that is the case, so what? What does this mean for your business? It means that the buyer behavior is changing, that human beings are evolving, and for example, to graphically show it, 2 years ago, 40% of somebody's attention span was spent on video. And in the next couple of years, it's going to be 90%. So the very simple question is, how does your business have a plan to attract and stay in front of your customers' attention, to attract their interest? Let's talk about how you might be able to do that. So what is business video? Business video is different than sending a cute video about your kitten to your friends. It has a specific purpose, and that is to capture the attention of your customers through video in order to get found, to generate leads, or to close the sale. It has a very specific purpose, but it also builds your brand, allows you to stay in control of your customers' attention. If they click on the link and they're watching the video, there's multiple senses involved. They're not just watching it, but they're hearing it. And no other form of online communication, or rather other form of any communication outside of being in person, allows them to do that. And business video requires an ability for you to track and to maximize your return on the time that you invest in doing it and in making it happen. So before we talk about a specific game plan, let's all make sure we're on the same page and discuss a few common misconceptions about video. Myth number one, video is expensive to have it produced. There are so many devices these days that allow you to record a video. Most everybody has an iPhone or an Android or some sort of smartphone. If not, you have a built-in webcam, or maybe you've purchased a Logitech webcam for aftermarket, or maybe you're one of the millions of consumers that has an aftermarket video camera like a Flip Video, which these days you can get for under $100. So you combine that with a $20 tripod, and the cost for producing video is incredibly inexpensive. But that brings up an interesting point. Does the video have to be produced? Because of the advent of YouTube and how popular it is, and I think it had like 11 billion views in last year, it's brought down the requirement for production level. There's a few key things you can do to have a good quality looking video, but in fact you might not actually want a commercial. A commercial might actually degrade the credibility. There's this concept of an increased credibility if they actually get a sense for who you are. So videos don't even have to be produced. They're something that you can create on your own. Myth number three, that you can just email a video file. Video files are unique to the degree that they're very large. Whether it's you or your customer, if you're trying to send a large PowerPoint attachment, depending on your internet and their internet, whatever it's going through, your internet service provider, the ISP, there's limitations out there. And just to share with you what these limitations can mean, a 30-second video recorded on a Flip Video camera is in the ballpark of over 30 megabytes. That means that you would have to have less than a 10-second video, and you wouldn't be able to move it around very much on the chance that you wanted it just to go through, let alone knowing whether or not they have a Mac or a PC and the right software on their computer to watch that particular type of file. So videos are unique in the sense that you do have to put it into some online system. You can't email them like PDFs and PowerPoints. Myth number four, candidates won't do the video. If you're interested in exploring candidate videos, you're concerned that they won't do them, there's two really interesting data points about this. First is when you look at the hierarchy of the staffing industry, a client pays your bills and you pay the candidate a percentage of that. Now we've seen in the last 4 months, for the first time ever, clients beginning to demand that every single one of their staffing vendors submit a video with the resume. Some of those clients include Toyota, Netflix, and Chegg, the textbook company. And so because that's a current and growing number, video is still a differentiator, but it's trending in the direction of becoming something that may be required. And so the easiest way to get your candidates to do the video is to tell them they have to, and to build in that type of motivation. The second data point I want to chat about this is that we actually did we analyzed a sampling of 25,000 videos in our system and compared the response rates from 2009 to 2011. And in 2009, having a video where you remotely invited the candidate to do the video on their own, you had a 35% chance that they would do it, and it took about 2.5 days. In 2011, you had over a 72% chance that they would complete the video, and the average response time was less than 6.5 hours. So video is becoming more prevalent across just the general population. And so I think it's safe to say that candidates will do the video, both because they're getting comfortable with it and because there's growing motivation that's being built into the staffing model, driven by the client in order to do so. Myth number 5, and this is becoming less and less of an issue. In the 5 years that we've been in business, more and more companies are getting comfortable with this. But the EEOC has, and this is simply an educational matter, the EEOC has published the following. 1, that under Title VII of the 1964 Civil Rights Act, it is not illegal to know any amount of information about the candidate, even if there's statutes that can potentially be claims. They go on to say that video, so it's not illegal to know the information. However, the decision that is being made needs to be made based on their qualifications. The example they give here is president of the Black Law Students Association. Clearly that shows traits like drive and organization and leadership, but it also brings up race, which is one of the statutes of Title VII. And so the employer simply needs to focus on the qualifications of the job. A couple of other points. First is that when you actually look at the process and the rights of a candidate, the rights of a candidate change the moment they get an offer letter. So pre-offer letter, what's called failure to hire at the stage of the hiring process, there are so many variables going into it that even some of the largest employment law firms in the country get very few claims because it's very difficult to make a claim on that. As soon as somebody has an offer letter and they know they have a legitimate chance to getting a job, that's when that, and then all the way down to the tail end of the hiring cycle. Why did you fire me? Why did I not get a promotion? That's when the claims begin. So not only is it not illegal, but it's minimal. Not only is it legal, but it's minimal risk. And so it simply becomes a business decision for you. Will adding video help you stand out, add to your bottom line? Okay, so I hope that we successfully went through a couple of myths that are questions that we get all the time when in presentations, when I'm speaking at the California Staffing Professionals. Let's now take our skydive a little bit deeper and talk about how video actually meets the staffing business. So in the last several years, we've worked with, as I said, hundreds of recruiters and come up with about 30 ways that staffing companies have effectively used video. And we've bucketed them into 5 categories based on your revenue cycle. Number 1 is passive marketing, the very first stage of your sales cycle when people are doing research about you or when they're coming to you. And so that's the concept is passive marketing when people come to your website, when they find you on YouTube, when they find you through Google Marketing. Are there mechanisms in there where video can make sense? Active marketing, the next step is that you have somebody's name and email address. And your active marketing, the best way to explain it is email marketing. You're reaching out to them on a regular basis, let's say once a month, to stay in front of them, provide valuable content so that when they do have a need, you're top of mind. The next stage in the sales cycle is getting the job orders, reaching out to your customers, providing not only the best candidates, but the best process to work with. Your clients are most likely, as is seen in just overall numbers in the economy, overworked. There's higher profitability per employee than any time in history right now. And so anything you can do to make their job easier will be helpful. Reaching out to candidates, building a relationship with them, leveraging them as your salespeople in referral networks and referral programs, so on and so forth. And if anyone's here in a large organization, streamlining certain parts of your internal operations. So let's look at a couple of examples of each of these. Passive marketing, putting a video on your website. They do 2 things. They add credibility and they add personality. In fact, just this morning, I was at Starbucks and a friend of mine came up to me. He's looking to transition jobs, and he said that he has never watched as much video as he did during his job search. He's going online and seeking out videos about all the companies to learn about all the companies he wants to work with. And if they don't have a video, he moves on because he doesn't want to take the effort to get to know a company if they're not with the times. And so it does add credibility, and it can be very helpful in standing out in passive marketing. As I said earlier, another great form for passive marketing is putting videos on YouTube. videos on YouTube can help you get found. However, YouTube is a search engine, and as a result, getting found on YouTube is the result of, call it video SEO, and it's the second largest search engine in the world. And so if you're not actively participating in a Google search engine optimization campaign, I would suggest that YouTube might not make sense for you, because there's no reason to play in the second largest sandbox if you're not even playing in the first. Let's talk a little bit more about YouTube while we're on the topic. So there are other considerations. We all learned at a very young age that you get what you pay for. So YouTube is free, but someone has to pay the bills. It costs money to host videos, and tons of them. So how do they support their services? We all know they have ads, but what does that mean? It means that the ads are distracting the viewer from the video. And ads are even popping up in channels. The Hilton channel has an ad about Southwest that pops up. I just saw that recently. And so if you're a business and you're trying to get somebody to take action, if you're using YouTube for things other than passive marketing, then you're working against the platform that it's on. And so there's some other issues that need to be considered as you evaluate business video and where YouTube fits into your game plan. First is that if you're sending these videos to businesses, YouTube is blocked. YouTube is a consumer tool, first and foremost, and it's blocked by 12% of businesses. Because it's a great passive marketing, it's a search engine, and it needs to pay its bills through ads, there's minimal conversion mechanisms. If you try and use YouTube for anything other than passive marketing, for active marketing or for sales, you're going to be doing yourself a disservice, because there's no real way to convert, to get them to take action. And last, because it's so big, it's never going to teach you how to use video in your staffing business. YouTube is, frankly, it doesn't care, but your time is valuable, and so being guided into how to do it right the first time is often of value to staffing companies. So just some other things to consider as YouTube is obviously the #1 name brand, and it's frankly the reason that we are talking today. It is the driving force behind the change in human behavior. It simply, as with all things, needs to be considered. Its role needs to be considered. You don't use an email marketing platform to send one email. You use it to send several. And so where does YouTube fit in? Speaking of email marketing, let's move on to active marketing. Active marketing, nurturing your leads, staying in front of your audience on a regular basis, so that and providing content of value that is interesting to them, so that when they have a need, they think of you. We have seen that when you add videos to your emails, there's a spike in open rates, in click-through rates, in responses, and in leads. And as you're judging the effectiveness of your email marketing campaigns, the more engagement that is shown, typically the more effective a video marketing campaign. We'll talk more details about this later. So, selling to customers. Very simply, if you were to put yourself in your hiring manager's shoes, if you were working with a staffing vendor, and yes, they had great candidates, and that was their industry and their expertise, you would probably also want the best process of working with them. So as a hiring manager, would you prefer seeing a resume? Or would you prefer seeing a resume and a 30-second video? If you could put a face with the name, not trying to replace the interview, but in an unobtrusive way, you click the link, you get to know a little bit about the candidate, would that help you make a decision? Would that prove their ability to be professional and to communicate? On our experience, it's an obvious answer. It's a presenter trick, right? The answer is supposed to be yes. But if you really do put yourself in the shoes of your clients, think through what would be beneficial to them. Reaching out to candidates. This is a relationship business, and a personal introduction helps you stand out. We've seen a lot of people do what's called a meet me video, a little video that lives in their email signature, that every time they send it out, if they haven't yet met the person and they just got off of a first call, you might say, hey, to put a face with my name, click in the link in my signature below. Some people have even added that statement to their signature. So every email that gets sent out, they're driving people to click on the link. To some, it might seem like a bit of a gimmick, but the bottom line is that it does work. It does help you stand out. And if you've seen a video or received a video from somebody and then you meet them in person, there's an instant smile on your face. There's just a sense that you get to know them. And that can be very valuable when reaching out to everybody, including your candidates. And last, for the larger organizations, if you are streamlining internal training or motivating your team with contests, it's a powerful way to build morale and also the bottom line. Okay, so those are a couple of ideas, but let's get closer and closer to the ground in our skydive here before we pull the chute, and let's evaluate the devil in the details. How do you actually do it? How do you add video and make it effective? Well, we've dialed it down to 4 secrets. There's 4 secrets to do this right, and they are as follows. 1, that there is a direct correlation between the quality of your video and the results that you will receive. Now notice I use the word looking here. It doesn't have to be professional. It just needs to come across as looking somewhat professional. And there's a few tips and tricks you can do to accomplish this. Make sure the camera is on a tripod so that you don't get the Blair Witch effect. Frame the head and shoulders. Let's see if my mouse works. So that you have the eyes at about the 2/3 level. Make sure that you look directly at the lens because this is unidirectional communication. If you break eye contact with the camera, then it's like you're breaking eye contact with who you're looking at, who you're trying to get the attention of, and that can affect your credibility. Turn on every light, and last, it's actually not listed here. Yes, it is, number 2. Last, have the camera just barely above your eyes and looking down at you, so that you're not looking up your nose and not looking up your chin. Secret number 1. Secret number 2, you have about 30 to 60 seconds of somebody's attention span, right? The average human being has grown up seeing television commercials, and that's about all they're willing to watch. And so what you say in that short period of time is incredibly important. So have an effective script. I know that Haley Invite, we provide them. It's an interesting way to take a template and to say, okay, how do I want to tweak this? How do I want to personalize it? But the point is that either the question you ask your candidate so that you guide them to saying valuable stuff in the first 30 seconds, or the script that you ask that you yourself are reciting into a camera, you got to grab their attention quickly. And as we discussed, package the video. As we discussed, video is too large to email. That means you have to put it into up online and you're sending a link. If you're sending a link, there's all kinds of other information that can show up on that page. So is it branded to your organization? Is there anything distracting? Like this sample candidate video, there's no distracting related videos. There's nothing that there's not a competitor video showing up like on a YouTube related video. You see the candidate, you see their initials, if you don't want to give away their whole name, and you see the question they're being asked. And in this particular case, the client simply emails you back. So there's minimal change to the process. There's no password they need to remember. If you're doing a marketing-related video, then have an action item. Have a click here to register type link so that you can track how people are engaging with what you're doing, and that at all times during the video, they can take action while they're engaged. It will dramatically affect, it will determine whether or not your campaigns are successful, whether or not you have a tracking mechanism to know if they are, and you give them the ability to take action. Secret number 4 is have a clear strategy. How does this all come together? What are the use cases? What are the biggest pains in your current sales and marketing process? And how might video address that? Second, how do you get people to click on the link? If nobody clicks on that link, this time you spent to create the video is not going to do you any good. So as I had said in the example with the Meet Me, add the line here in the red box, commanding people to click on the link in your email. People are very good at following directions. Simply say, click on the link in my signature below, and have a clear strategy. And those are the 4 secrets to successfully doing video. and I hope that that has been helpful. I believe David is now going to talk about talk about even the next step.
Thanks, Adam. And actually, before we drill into making video work, there was a question that came in along the way where somebody was just asking, as a follow-up to your comment about, if I can't email a video, well, how do I get it to the employer, to the candidate? And Adam is not paying me to say this. So if we're on the call, this is an unsolicited testimonial. We're a customer of Vipe as well as a partner with Vipe. I was very intimidated the first time I had to shoot a video. I do lunch with Haley's all the time. I speak at state conferences. You put that camera in front of me and I got nervous. But Adam kept pushing me and said, David, just try it once. And once you do it, and I just took a laptop and shot a video, once you do it and then you put it into the Vipe system, it's unbelievably easy to take that video and leverage that video in your marketing. And Adam, if you wouldn't mind, I think this would be a great time to kind of step out of the presentation and give everybody a little walkthrough of just what happens behind the scenes, and specifically show them Vipe and how they can manage videos.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'll pay you later for asking me. Let's see here. Let me get over to it. Okay. So and I'll also be sure to answer the question as well. How do you actually send it if you can't email the actual file? The answer to your question is that you end up emailing a link. So let me show you what that means. Just log into a sample account here. So Vipe is a system that will allow you to send videos to people. And the first thing you have to do is you have to upload a video to our system. So let's take the Meet Me as an example. Here this is the home screen. And over here on the company video side, videos that we're sending out as a company, as opposed to videos of our candidates. I'm going to add a video. I'll just say Meet Me. So I could record the video right here in the browser, but I'm just going to upload a file, because if you record using a flip video camera, you're going to be given a file that you need to upload. Browse. Meet Me right here. And while this looks incredibly canned, actually this is just kind of a standard demo I do. It's how to show a Meet Me. So the video is going to be uploaded into the Vipe system, and then we're actually going to, just so that you know, if you care about the technology backend, we're going to make multiple different versions about it, so that depending on the viewer's internet speed and their device, we'll play the highest quality video based on what they're doing. So the Meet Me showed up. Let's go back to the main menu, and now let's package it. We've got the video into the system. Now we need to create this link so that we can send it out. So we're going to create a landing page. Give it a description. Let's just say I create a lot of landing pages and want to know which is which. And then just like a PowerPoint slide, I'm just going to add a little bit of text here. Personal introduction. And always thinking in sales mode, what is my action item? What do I want people to do with this particular video? How about asking them to connect with me on LinkedIn? Thank you for your time. Excuse my typing. And it's a pleasure to meet you. Please click below to connect with me on LinkedIn. So then I go to my LinkedIn profile. And here I'll take my public profile and I'll copy it. And here under custom link, I'm going to say connect with me on LinkedIn. Give it a text. I'm going to right-click and hit paste. So I've built my template. This other link that I went over is a response form. Let's say that you're inviting people to an event. A response form would be more appropriate to like an event at your office than a LinkedIn link. But I'm going to have one action item. Next, I add the video, primary video. Now this VIPE is simply part of the video. It has nothing to do with the fact that it's a VIPE system. You'll see that in a second. Next, I can add a related video. We all know the concept of related videos on YouTube. This is the business version. I can choose to have no related videos. If I had customer testimonials, I could add them. Just to show you how you add them, here's a year-end review. And I'm going to drag and drop that over. So I'm going to choose which related video I want. And that's it. We've made this landing page, this package that I can now send out. So how do I send it out? Well, first let me preview what I made. So in this demo account, let's let the video play a little bit.
Hi, I've added.
In this demo account, I've uploaded my NAPS logo, so I'm pretending that I'm working for NAPS. This is all the information that we added. Here's our related video. Hi everybody, Adam Peterson. And if somebody clicks on the link, they're brought right to my LinkedIn profile, where I actually have myself a click here to meet me. Okay, so we like what we see here. Let's send it out. I have two options. One, I can click this little email button, and that will pop up an email with the link already there. Dear client, please put a face with my name by clicking below. They click on the link, and we know exactly what they're going to see. So going back into VIPE, there's another option to send it out. I can copy the link to my clipboard, and let's say that I already have an email written. Let's delete this. Let's say I'm already in an email, and I want to add the link. I can right-click and hit paste, and the link will show up. And we know what's going to happen when they click on it. So that's it. That's the link that you send out, because a link doesn't have any weight, so to speak. It's not an attachment. But when you do look at the landing page, there's more content than just the video that is being shown to the person that clicked on the link. Your logo, what the context of this is, and if they're supposed to take any action. And so that's what this concept of a landing page allows you to control. And last, in VIPE, just while we're at it, you can see that we've had 3 views and that one person has clicked on the link. Jump into advanced. You could track this over a period of several days. And you can see that all this activity happened in Menlo Park and what time of the day. Now, because we don't require a login to view the link, because no one you're selling to is going to want to enter a password, we don't know who actually viewed and clicked on the link. But if you're sending it to one person, that's not a problem. You know if they watched it. If you're blasting it out, you're going to use a system like Haley Marketing, and Haley Marketing will be able to tell you who actually clicked on it. And so that's pretty simple. Does that pretty much cover it, David?
Yeah, that was great. Thank you very much, Adam. And I hope that showed everybody really just how easy it is to shoot a video, upload a video, and then particularly those landing pages. That's something that you don't really think about when you think about video marketing is, as Adam referred to it, the packaging. What am I going to do on the web page we drive people to get our clients, our prospects, our candidates to take the next step? So Adam, let's go back now and talk about putting some of the video marketing to action. And we've only got a couple slides left, so I'll let you do the slide flipping, and I will kind of narrate over them. If you if you'll click ahead one, we're going to talk about making video marketing work. And I'm not looking at the operations side that Adam mentioned. There's some great ways to use video and those related videos for training, but we're going to talk about really the business development, the recruiting, the client relationship building that you want to do. And what I love about video is that it can be used to enhance everything else that you're doing. It can be used to enhance your sales team. Adam's example of a Meet Me video. If you do most of your initial prospecting on LinkedIn, via email, via the telephone, well, you're very likely nothing more than text in an inbox. You might be a picture on a profile page on LinkedIn, but now with a video, you start to become a person they may be interested in speaking to, and particularly if you can intrigue them with that video to give them a reason to want to talk to you. Now you're not just like every other staffing salesperson that's been calling. So you can use video to promote. You can use video to educate, to teach people more about when, why, and how to use staffing services, why they would want to hire a specific candidate from you, why they would be interested in registering with your firm and not the guys down the street. You can be using it for positioning to help differentiate your services from the competition. The videos, just having videos, helps to differentiate you from people who are using only old school traditional methods of pick up the telephone and do cold call selling versus a company that is much more sophisticated by integrating video into a more holistic approach to marketing. And as Adam mentioned, the building relationships is so critical. We're in this era where everything's electronic, and getting people to do business with you means, as you all know, you got to get them at some level to like you. And what better way to get someone to like you than to start making an impression with a video? So a few examples are on the screen now about how video can enhance all your touch points. And what I encourage people to do on today's call is look at your sales process, look at your marketing, look at all the places you touch clients, prospects, and candidates as you deal with them, and think about, well, how could a video make our current touch points better? So we saw an example, adding a video to your email signature, so now we can have more personal emails. If you're blogging, a lot of people will tell you post a video to YouTube and then write a blog post about it. Well, Adam already presented a couple of reasons that YouTube might not be the best choice. Number one is the related videos. You don't want someone to go watch your video and then up pops the video for the competitor down the street. You also want to control those related videos. So a platform that is private, like a Vipe, allows you to link your video to your blog very seamlessly. So you write a blog post about it, you embed the video in your blog post. Now you're getting all the SEO value you got out of YouTube because you're blogging, and you're keeping control over your videos with your own platform. Sharing the videos on LinkedIn and Facebook. Adam briefly showed us his LinkedIn profile where he had a Meet Me video in his own profile. But if you've got videos, particularly educational videos, maybe you do a quick lesson on how to ask candidates tough questions, or for a candidate, how to respond. Posting that video in LinkedIn groups where your clients hang out is a great way to demonstrate your expertise and get people to want to do business with you. Sending direct mail with URLs for videos. We've had some interesting debates around the office and with some of our clients in the last couple of weeks about direct mail. And everything I'm reading in the marketing trade publications is talking about the death of direct mail and how everybody has really just shifted their entire budget to online marketing. Guess what that means? That means that direct mail has now become the short checkout line in the supermarket. There's not as much waiting there to get through. There's more opportunity to get somebody to see your message with a direct mail piece. But if you integrate the direct mail, you're not going to send somebody a video in the mail. You integrate that by giving them a URL to go to, whether it's a personal URL where you can show them a video that's just for that individual, or it's an URL that's to a video that everybody can watch. It's very simple to drive people from print to your website to your videos. Also voicemail. If you're making 50, 100 spins of the dial each day or each week, well, instead of just saying, this is John Smith from ABC Staffing and here's why I'd like to get together, say, this is John Smith from ABC Staffing and I've got a great video about trends in hiring in your industry, here's the URL. Just go to abcstaffing.com/trends and watch the video. You can leave that as a voicemail message, and now you've got a really intriguing voicemail to get more people to respond. Your candidate orientations. You've got a candidate and you're trying to provide orientation about the next job assignment. Why not have a video of that employer, the work site, a quick meet me with the supervisor that you could put up in Vipe and then send an email link to the candidate. Nice thing about that, they can watch the video right on their smartphone as they're on the way to work. And adding video URLs to your other print pieces, your brochures, business cards. So if you think about your electronic marketing, your telephone marketing, your drop-by calls, your social media marketing, there are places in all of your touch points to integrate video to make the other marketing more effective. So how do you put it into action? Adam, if we can go to the next slide. The key is really to have a strategy for video. And the mistake people make is they get excited about video, but they really don't think about what they want to accomplish. Step one, what are your goals? Are you trying to generate sales leads, getting people to call you? Are you trying to get more appointments, making your sales team more productive in their efforts? Are you trying to attract employers or job seekers to your website? Are you trying to use video to differentiate your services? Will you be using video to educate, to teach people more about the value of your services in order to help them make a purchase? Maybe it's used right in the middle of the sales process, and your videos are something you show on an iPad during a presentation. Are you using them to improve service? And you may have multiple goals, but the key is to look at each goal you have, then look at how video supports that goal, and lastly to look at how would we measure the results, know that taking the time to make the videos and use the videos has resulted in an improvement. Are we getting a larger percentage of the calls we make turning into appointments? Are we getting a higher close percentage? Are we seeing the number of job orders increase? Are we seeing more candidate inquiries versus what we're spending on recruitment marketing? Those are some of the measurements you might have. So kind of wrap things up for today with a 6-month video marketing strategy that we're going to go through for you in less than a minute. All right, so our goal for the 6-month strategy is to generate sales leads and nurture prospects. We're going to use video as an enhancement to our email marketing channel, and we're going to send something out once per month. And that's the goal, is we're going to use email and video together as a way to go after prospects, to bring them to our website, and to make them call us. And then we're also going to use it with existing prospects to nurture relationships and deepen the bond between the prospect and our firm so they want to work with us. The trick is, if I'm going to do video marketing, I can't just have one video and send it out over and over and over again. I need to think about the video almost like a college course, a curriculum, where you are introducing people to your firm over a period of time. So what might you do for the next 6 months? Well, in the first month, you might send out a CEO or executive introduction. Give them an overview of your company vision, your philosophy, your mission, what you do for local employers. If I'm a salesperson, I would love to send out an email saying, you know, our company is all about X. And you know what? The best person to describe that is our CEO, and we've got a great video he's put together to explain what we're doing for companies like yours. It's about 2 minutes long. Hope you'll enjoy it. Then you follow up the next month saying, we see that you frequently hire for this type of position, and we just happen to be interviewing candidates and have some terrific people. I've got 3 videos of some exceptional candidates looking for work right now. You can watch this clip to meet them. You might follow that up with testimonials, whether it's on the client side or the candidate side, people corroborating the quality of your services, number one, and just as importantly, your approach to business and how you can help solve problems and help the clients to get more done. Then you might share some company news. Now, most people, when you're marketing to them, they're not interested in your business. So I wouldn't just share news like, well, so-and-so had a birthday here and it's our 6th anniversary in business. You want to share news that's relevant to the client's business. So news might be, think of it like a press release. We want to share information that tells a story about how we helped somebody get to work, how we helped an employer solve a business problem. That's the kind of news that's more of a case study, but a perfect thing to share to support your positioning and to educate people. And speaking of education, in our 5th month, we'll send out some staffing tips. We're going to teach people specific ideas on how to maximize the value of either using temporaries or working with a company like yours. And lastly, we might send out some hot job opportunities. And why might we send those out to employers? A couple of reasons. Number one, it demonstrates the kind of positions you specialize in filling. And number two, you may actually start to build relationships by telling employers, hey, we are currently working on some great job opportunities, and we know you hire for these kinds of positions, and you have to turn a lot of people down. So if ever you're looking to refer them to someone who can help people get placed, we would love to be a partner with you in helping to put people to work. So this was our 1-minute overview. This was just a quick idea, but take a look at your goals, your channels, and then your curriculum for the videos. And Adam, we actually just had a question come in that I'm going to kick to you, and somebody asked us, what video editing software do you recommend?
I just came off mute. I hope you can still hear me. The answer is, if you have a Mac, iMovie is perfect. If you don't, then use what we use, and that is a system called Camtasia, C-A-M-T-A-S-I-A. Camtasia.com will work. And it's incredibly user-friendly, drag and drop. You can add, just like in my Meet Me, a little logo at the beginning, and then my name and title over the video.
Yeah, and I'll say at Haley Marketing Group, we use Camtasia when we do training videos, and we have to show people how to operate the computer. So maybe you have to teach people how to fill out their time cards. You can use Camtasia if they're to show people how to use any of your online tools, and Camtasia will not only let you edit video you've shot, but it will record video of things you're doing on the screen, and it's really easy. All right, we just had another question. What's a good length of time per candidate video?
Candidate videos, again, the general rule of thumb is what's the attention span. It's 30 to 60 seconds. So if you keep a candidate video with plus or minus the 1-minute mark, you're going to be fine. We've actually done A/B testing with clients where a client will often say, hey, give me these 7 questions, and I want a total of like 30 minutes of video. And we'll send over a 10-minute video, and we'll send over a 1-minute video. 100% of the time, they say, you know what, the 1-minute video was enough.
Okay, terrific. And I want to also reiterate a point that Adam made earlier, because we had a joint client where we found this was true. If you do top candidate skill marketing of your people to employers and you do it via email, adding a video produces a significant increase in response. And that's kind of how Adam and I got hooked up together. Is one of our clients who was working with Vipe and working with Haley Marketing was doing top candidates, started marrying video with their email marketing and seeing that they were placing many more candidates. So we got real excited about the potential of marrying video, and as Adam said, these little short 1-minute or less introductions to the candidate where they're answering specific questions as a means of introduction. All right, and just to let everybody know, we'll continue to do Q&A, so if you have questions, use that question box and submit it. Adam, if you want to go to the thank you slide, because there's one other resource you wanted to offer to everybody, and let's flip the page and you can tell them about that resource. Oh.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, you know what? I don't know if it's added on this presentation.
I'll tell you what, if I've got it on mine. If you want to flip control back, I will actually take charge, and I'll just bring it up for everybody. Okay. So on the thank you slide here, if you want to just introduce the free report you're offering to everybody and what that's all about.
Yeah, so for anybody who's interested, this is completely free, and it's the study, the analysis I alluded to when I talked about candidate response rates. And if you go to our website, and we can in fact send this as a follow-up, I think, to attendees as well. But we've provided a report where we did a sampling of 25,000 videos in our system and analyzed all the videos that happened in 2009 and all the videos that happened in 2011 and compared their differences. What's the average number of questions? Are people using a webcam, or are they using flip video cameras? How long is it taking candidates to get back to them? So that report is available for you for free, just for data for you to help you make a decision at our website. And here's the link.
Yeah, and for everybody, if you downloaded the slides already, the version we uploaded to the Lunch with Haley page didn't have this box on it at the end, so you might want to jot down this URL, vipepower.com/cms/video-trends-in-the-staffing-industry. Sorry, it's a mouthful. But Adam was kind enough to offer it to everybody, and we at least wanted to get it into the presentation as we did it today. And this does bring us to the end of the presentation. So Adam, great content. Really enjoyed learning more about the uses of video. And even though you and I have been talking for months, I still picked up a lot of new things today. And I was jotting notes down while I was on mute about ways that we can use it in our own communication with our clients and with our prospects, and even some of our own job candidates. The idea of people coming to your website to check you out. We're hiring for 4 jobs right now, and there's no video about Haley Marketing Group on our website, so there will be.
Excellent. Well, thank you again for having me. As I said at the beginning, it's a pleasure to be affiliated with Haley Marketing. You really are the leaders in this space, and I look forward to what we can do together.
Thanks. And if anybody has questions about video after this, please don't be shy about contacting Adam directly. I know he'd be more than happy to answer questions about either technical questions about using video or specific questions about Vipe. If you have questions about integrating video with your email marketing, feel free to give us a call. We'd be happy to tell you what we're doing, share ideas with you about what other clients are doing, and then we also can give you access and provide you with Vipe's services. Next month, just quick introduction, we are having one of my favorite webinars, our 30 Marketing Ideas in 60 Minutes, the 2012 version. So we have asked everybody here at Haley Marketing Group to find their best practices for selling and marketing and recruiting in the staffing industry, and we're putting them all together into a webinar coming up. I believe this one's going to be a different day. We're usually Thursdays. We're doing Tuesday, February the 14th, so happy Valentine's Day from Haley Marketing Group. You can get your seat at lunchwithhaley.com. Adam, thank you once again. Really appreciate the time. Great presentation. And to everyone else, thank you so much for attending today's webinar. We're going to wrap up the audio portion, but if you do have questions, we'll stay online to answer questions for the next few minutes. Thanks again, and see you at the next Lunch with Haley webinar.